Hey there. Welcome back to Ask Amy. I have a question today from Arturo, who's writing from Spain. Arturo says, for a year and a half, I've been daily exploring the three principles and things related to spirituality and trauma. My mind got quieter as I could see deeper and in real time the scary character in my thinking and the product of it in my body. I have no doubts that the scary thinking activates feelings in the body and then is afraid of them when they persist. But even when I can see that and have some degree of peace about that, I'm still feeling a lot of constriction in my body, 24/7, constant. It's not related to a few moments a day. Makes it very difficult to keep sleeping at night and becoming activated and stressed very, very easily. And yes, when that happens, a scary voice may appear and make it worse. But even when I see it and my mind settles, the constriction persists. My way is to every single day slow down, try to feel, allow, and relax those inner tensions. But so far, it's not been easy. When I listen to you, it seems like it can be easier, like something I couldn't see so far. I'd like to think that it is, and I'd like to see it. But so far, it feels to me as if I need to do a lot of work to deactivate this chronic state of contraction. I appreciate any comments. So, I love this question, Arturo, and it makes me think of um, when people see through anything that's habitual. So think about a habit. Now we think about habits, we put ourselves right in the middle of them and we think about, oh, it's this thing that I'm doing, I'm eating too much or I'm drinking too much or shopping or working or whatever we're doing. We tend to focus on the behavior. We tend to focus on us, right? I'm doing this too much. It's my habit. There's a whole kind of way that our mind conceptualizes it, a whole story around it. But really, what a habit is, if we really just strip away all the thoughts and concepts and stories, it's it's a computer, a machine, our brain acting in a habitual way. And it's us, as we do as human beings, kind of hearing that and feeling it, being noticing our experience and then identifying with it. So that's where we come out the other end saying, I did this, I had no choice, I'm doing my habit. We tell a story about it kind of after the fact, but what's really happening in any habit, anything that's habitual like that, is it's just a machine that's just running by habit. I mean, our brain and our body, they're both machines, and they are about the most habitual thing there is. They need to be, right? They need to be incredibly habitual. What I know that you've seen, I'm sure, if you've been, around this understanding for a year and a half, is that there's so much intelligence behind everything that happens. And it's so easy for us humans to look at it and say, this is a problem. And listen, I hope that, we all want your physical constriction to ease up and we all want to be pain free and all of that. So no question. But I know you've also seen something around the fact that it's not just a problem to fix, it's there's intelligence behind the whole thing. And I don't know the backstory, but just the fact that you said you've researched things around spirituality and trauma, it's a common trauma response. Your body, a machine, and our brain, a machine, gets really freaked out, to put it in layman's terms. Something happens, our body and brain freak out and try to protect us and save us. And there's all kinds of side effects and kind of consequences of that. All sorts of things like habits that get formed in our brain and habits that get formed in our body as a consequence of that, even when they no longer make sense. That's again no different than any of our habits. It's the same thing if someone picks up a smoking habit or a drinking habit, let's say. They don't feel so great, they take a drink, they feel amazing. Brain remembers that. Brain says, and body even says, this makes you feel good, do more of it. So down the road, it doesn't feel good. And then further down the road, it's horrible and it's ruining your life. But there's still that habit of just the mechanical habit, the machine's habit of connecting these things is still in place. So, what happens when people start to break habits and find freedom from this stuff is that we tend to, at least in this conversation and this way of doing it, we tend to see things. We tend to kind of wake up to what's going on, have a whole new view of it in a sense, have some insights. And you have had those, Arturo. I can hear them in your question, right? You've seen a lot around this. You've seen that there's nothing to be afraid of when your body does this. You've had some peace and some ease around it in that way. But it takes a minute for the machinery to catch up with that. So when I'm working with someone who has a binge eating habit, for example, or a drinking or hoarding or whatever habit, they'll see, oh, I see that this is rooted in myself trying to feel like get myself back to home. I see that this is an innocent misunderstanding. I see that my mind thinks this is helping me, but it's really not, and that I don't really need that kind of help. I'm okay already. We have these insights, but it doesn't mean the machinery just like all the brakes are pressed. It's like stopping a train in motion. It doesn't just stop on a dime. Your mind still goes down the same path. Your body still does the same stuff. But the more we keep seeing what we know, seeing what we see about it, the machinery catches up. So when that train is barreling down the tracks and someone needs to stop it quickly because there's a car up ahead, you press all the brakes, you do all the right things, and then you have to hang out and wait for a little bit as the thing comes to a stop. That's where you are right now, Arturo, and it's where a lot of us are. We don't just have an insight and instantly everything's different in our behavior and in our physicality. It just takes a minute. So I want you to see if you can see it like that. I don't think that there's like this amazingly easier or faster way, or something that you're missing. But I do think, what you say is around that it sounds like it feels like a lot of work doing this. That you say, my way is to every single day slow down, try to feel, allow, and relax those inner tensions. But so far it's not been easy. Well, that's doing something for you if you feel like it's doing something for you. And you want to notice where your mind says, well, but why is it still here? But why is my body still doing this? But wait a minute, it should have felt this way. You just want to be onto that. It might take a minute. And it's not just that practice that's helping your body kind of shed its habit. It's all the insight you've had. That's what's really doing it. So you do that practice if you like it, if it works for you, and you keep looking as you are. You stay in this bigger conversation. You keep seeing, wow, even when a body is contracting like this, it's not me, it's not my body. Even when we notice our mind saying, oh no, this again, why? You're not doing that. The machine's doing it. And as we keep seeing more and more about that, it only gets deeper and it only gets better and it only gets easier. But it does sometimes take a minute. And your body's doing this out of some intelligence that it no longer needs today, but it loves you and it thinks you need it. And it takes just a little bit, to kind of let all of that fall away. But I think you're doing amazing. I think what you're seeing and what you're doing and experiencing so far seems like it's right on. Just be patient with yourself and know it's not that practice of releasing. That's great. But what's really going to do it is just continuing to have these bigger insights to see that you're okay and your body's just doing what a machine does. And then to just kind of relax into it. And there's no question the machinery will start to change to match your state of mind, to match your level of consciousness that you're at now, which is very different than where you were, I assume, when this habit started. So thank you so much. A great question. Thanks for sending it. And I hope it's helpful to others. So please send your questions about anything at all to AskAmy at thelittleschoolofbigchange.com. And if you have questions about the Change Coach Training Program, which starts next month, I'm doing a Q&A today in about 2 hours, just under 2 hours at 3 o'clock Eastern time. And I put the link in the description here so you can join that or check that out if you're interested in that program. So thanks, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.